The comments around the honesty of this council gives me grave concern. Things like Millom Town Council receiving bribe money. Things like Millom Town Council receiving backhanders. We are volunteers, we don't receive anything. Therefore, I can no longer sit back and ignore these comments, which are bordering on libelous insinuation. And as such, I'm asking the clerk to seek legal advice in order to redress these unfounded accusations. Thank you very much, Councillor.
I ask the Council to consider organising a public meeting to discuss the possible negative effects of hosting a GDF in our area. My recollection is that you agreed to put this on the agenda for tonight's meeting. However, not only is there no reference to this in the minutes, but neither is it on the agenda.
Well, it could, we don't know yet, because there's lots more information to come. It could be the biggest economic opportunity this town's had since iron ore was found in it. We don't know that. There's a lot of information to come through, so I don't think it would be acceptable for this town to have a whole public meeting just looking at negative effects. I'm not against talking about GDF to anybody, absolutely not. But what I am against is when people just want to talk about the negative effects.
There's a newsletter been going out, the GDF, which constantly posted into everyone's house. It completely presents the GDF proposals as positive benefits. In fact, I've been receiving emails constantly about from people who support it, know all the benefits, so they think. And that's all you ever hear. You never hear one mention of the community impacts that this would have. Now, some of my emails and information, that what I'm trying to do is balance it. How can Millom people make any sort of decision if they actually have no idea of the other side? Once they get letters, got these presentations, so-called consultation around the town and in the villages, but there's not one thing mentioned about the impact. It's always about there might be little hints about what's going to happen, but there's definitely an awful lot that this community needs to know on such a scale, with a residential area being used as a thoroughfare for a GDF tunnel. And I don't think anybody knows, apart from those who look into it.
And I think the fact that this council agrees 100% with you, and they didn't think that the partnership was delivering that for the community, and it's no longer part of that, and I'm no longer part of that.
But this is really, really affecting the well-being of people's lives. In Bankhead, and I know which is not in your jurisdiction, but Kirkstanton. People living in houses they didn't want to live in, people living in houses that they couldn't sell, people not sure whether to start businesses in the parish, people not sure whether to build property in the parish. It's happening now, it really is.
I had a proposal for a conversation that covers both sides. So, because I think at some stage we have to have that proper debate about the fact what could be the long-term benefits for this area as against the short-term problems that it will bring. Because no doubt it will bring problems. You cannot improve infrastructure to places or anything like that without causing issues. The policy says...
Because the prison will go, that employs 400.
The policy says it will bring 4,000 jobs to the area for the first time. That's what the policy says.
That's what it said in Norway.
One person.
That's what the policy says. Whether you want to challenge that, that's a different argument. But that's what the government printed in their policy. Can I move this on now? We've got a motion, seconded by another councillor, to hold a public meeting to debate the pros and cons of the GDF.
This means those living on or near Bankhead housing estate will be living next door to Britain's biggest ever building project. And the construction will go on for at least 10 years. Can you imagine that? But the decision where to site the GDF will not be taken until about 2040. That means residents have got another 15 years of fear and dread of not
I'm going
knowing.
to stop you there, Jan, because that's incorrect.
Well, not according to
That's
the...
incorrect. The decision of where they'll take forward to the next stage, which is the borehole stage,
Oh, that's it,
will be taken by the end of 2026.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of 2026, that means the Harry area could be taken out of it.
I accept
So
that.
don't say
No,
it won't
no,
happen
no.
till 2040 if it's incorrect.
I accept what you...
Okay, that's wrong, Jeff, sorry, isn't it? Sorry, that's wrong. 2026 is when the borehole period starts.
No,
with two sites taken.
They'll only do two boreholes in two sites.
There's only two sites. There's only Mid Copeland
They
and
won't
South
do it
Copeland.
in three land sites.
There's only two sites, Mid Copeland and South Copeland. They're the two sites.
Anyway,
Bankhead residents conducted a survey this month to find out whether those who would be living alongside the GDF support it. With a high return rate of 68%, which is pretty good, 78.7% said no to a GDF, 11.7% said yes, and 5.2% they don't know. Already one house sale in Southcroft has fallen through because of the GDF, and another resident on Bankhead has had to significantly reduce the price in order to sell. So in other words, blight is here already. People are suffering. Because of the potential site was identified in 2022, anyone who bought a house in the area after that date cannot be eligible for compensation. The residents of Bankhead are asking you, Millom Town councillors, to represent their views. The threat of building a GDF next to where they live, let alone building one, just the threat of having one, is seriously affecting the quality of the life and well-being of a significant number of your residents.
I've talked to the local estate agents. House viewings on Bankhead Estate have literally dried up since the announcement. I think the area focus that has been published has been appalling in the way that NWS has wrapped that area focus round the prison and round Bankhead Estate for land that they will never need or use because it is having this problem. I don't believe the current property protection scheme works for the people of Bankhead either, and I think that needs challenging with NWS because nobody should be out of pocket or being in this discussion, because that's where we are with this. We're only still in discussion stage about any of this, and nobody should. And I believe that the Bankhead residents are quite right. Their estate is blighted, and I absolutely support that. So I've been speaking, like I said, to local estate agents for feedback on. Tell me, are you getting viewings? Are you not getting viewings? What are you doing? So that's where I am as a council. I think we need to make sure that we tackle that with NWS. That they've produced an area focus that is blighting that estate. There is no doubt about that. So be clear, or I'm being clear. I absolutely support everybody on the Bankhead estate. I think your estate will be blighted by the way they've published this area focus, and I don't believe the current property protection scheme supports you properly in that, because everything will sell eventually for a price, but if that price is half the value of that your house was before this announcement, then there has to be a property protection scheme that supports all of that. Now we'll move to the motion that was brought to council that we, Millom Town Council, reject the area of focus being beneficial to Bankhead. I need a proposer and a second for this motion. Councillors, do you want to debate this? What do you want to do? Do you want to just move it to a vote?
I just had a quick statement. I mean, clearly it is in no way beneficial to the Bankhead. It's saying the obvious, so I'm certainly going to support that.
So I think I could just move this to a vote. All those in agreement with this? Yeah. I think that's fairly unanimous.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
You're the